Hello everyone and welcome to the month ahead here in our new live streaming studio with a bit of a touch up and a bit of a new look. Of course, it's lovely to be back in a bit of an open room compared to a confined meeting room.
Yeah, it was quite hard to find though. We had to ask a labourer to come let us in. We had to dodge some wet paint, but yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we can all fit on the sofa today as well because we had that issue last time.
Yeah,
Where we
without
had
being
three of us.
inappropriate.
Oh yeah, never
using my
forget
space,
Carl being crushed out by you and Ollie, right? And
Oh
the game
my.
jam. Yeah, let's just jump to that, shall we, Dave? Come on. All right, so there's quite a bit to talk about, of course. Just to recap everything that's went on, of course, the BTS for the upcoming month of March went out on Friday. Yours truly. Got involved in it quite a fair bit, including a very infamous section, which I think will live in the annals alongside Dead Clap. But you know,
Nothing can beat Dead Clap.
I mean, but it's more the reaction to it that you do, if I'm completely honest. But, you know, obviously we have quite a fair bit coming up. This is kind of the month where updates from Game Jam have kind of made their way over.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, just a question: how was the vetting process from the stuff that was made from Game Jam when deciding what was going into the game?
Yeah, immediately after the Game Jam on the Monday, we had what's called a sprint review. So the guys, the people who created content, just kind of slapped it in front of us and opened up for feedback. And the vetting process went really well. We cancelled nothing. A lot of them were, we need to see more, or we want to see more in this direction. So things like Penguins in Space wasn't quite ready for release.
Few weeks maybe.
Few weeks. It's a matter of moments. Still March, I believe, by the sound of that. But a lot of them we kind of just tweaked. For example, like Lumbridge Crater just needed a few environmental changes, things to Cabbage Face Punch, Gamers Grotto, that sort of stuff. And then it could just go out to launch. So we wanted to be swift and get some stuff out there as quickly as possible.
Awesome. So obviously we had our game update yesterday. It was quite a significant game update in regards to what it brought into the game. There was pretty much every area was touched in some way, be it updating the Majorat and some of the older quests, wardrobe rework. You got the Lumbridge Quet, of course, from Mod Ram and Mod Luke F. There's quite a fair bit there, so we'll kind of split it out a little bit. But from an overall perspective from this update, I mean, Raman, you can answer this as well if you want. Like, how do you think it's gone so far based on what you've seen?
Do you want to answer first? And then
No, you go for it. It's your baby.
Well, it's not AOD. That's the true baby. But no, Lumbridge Crater has gone down really, really well. There were some posts on Reddit today saying, you know,
Love those trees.
Yeah, people are really appreciative just of the fact that you can chop down trees, and you know they were mentioning, you know, that's what RuneScape is. Yeah. You can go anywhere except for
chop anything.
Right.
That's RuneScape.
But no, like it looks beautiful. A lot of people, you know, as soon as the update hit live, I jumped in on a world and people just came in. They were pleased to see the duck pond. Sadly, it went live with some issues with the swamp. We thought we took out all the force teleports, but they're still there.
Yeah.
So when you try and just run in, it teleports you, but it's fine. It's not like a game-breaking thing. I can't really see the chat. Could you zoom in the Twitch chat, please?
Yeah, that's fine.
But no, like really
They're
happy.
telling you to get your feet off the couch, if that helps.
You actually did it as well.
What
else can we get
really,
done?
really happy with it.
They called you honey thighs.
There's a lot of thigh there.
But I mean, actually, one other thing, the little lake by the crater has the fishing icons. Are they going to be fishing spots, or are those icons going?
I could add fishing spots. Basically, what I did was I found a really, really old map square because obviously the map square had gone.
Yeah.
So I had to jump into the Lumbridge, the World Event 1 opening cutscene, where they basically clone the map and they basically do flybys and add in Zamorak and Saradomin. So I went into that, copy and pasted, dropped it in. I was like, done. Didn't realise they were fishing spots.
I don't know how he does this because, like the emotes, the older emotes, the year emotes, like we go to Mod Ramen to like, can you get us an old version of this? So you know the archived older things.
I love some of the old
He's
stuff.
got a little China treasure chest of all of the older things we've ever produced.
He's sort of a librarian.
Yeah, but yeah,
of maps and
yeah,
things.
that's it. That's the one.
I do want to point out that it's not just the simplest copy and pasting, by the way. Just for people watching, are like, wait, is all they do just copy and paste?
Yeah, no, it wasn't that simple.
All right, so there's a couple of things that players have brought up. There's some talking points I'd like to go through here. So first of all, we'll go into a question, just a general question for this month from Skyzer, who asks, has this month got any secret updates planned to carry on with this year's theme of surprise?
Yes.
That's it?
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he explained them.
That's,
yeah, we're keeping it going.
All right, that's fine with me. Also, as brought up, as players have pointed out, at the start of this year, we had our year ahead post. It had a mention
Yes.
of the Clue Scroll rework scheduled for March. So can we clear the air as what's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know. I completely appreciate this. We have gone a bit quiet on the Clue Scroll rework. We really want to do it, so we are still doing it. The Ninja team is a little bit lighter than we'd like at the moment. We're doing some kind of recruitment. And what the Ninja team were going to take on the Clue Scroll rework. So they've got bank rework, they've got their normal Ninja fixes, and they don't have the room to do anything else. They'd have to drop or postpone the bank rework, or they'd have to stop doing Ninja fixes. We don't want to do either of those things.
Yeah.
So until they've got more people in, that's when we're going to hit Clue Scroll rework. We might do some smaller fixes and improvements. I know that a few of us like the idea of, kind of cubby holes and things like that. They might come in a little bit earlier, but really that big batch of stuff is going to come later. But it's not that Clue Scroll rework's not the only thing I think that we've kind of half announced but not done anything with. The pet park and skinning pets have fallen to the same problem.
Okay.
So they are all of these. We're kind of still hoping to get around the kind of expansion time, but they are pushed back for that similar reason.
Awesome. I just want to double check something with John in the background. John, can you double check if we had the broadcast go out to players about the stream? I'm just a little... Sorry?
I will do.
Yeah, because I'm a little worried that for some reason the broadcast might not go out. Obviously, we want people to see and hear about certain stuff we're talking about.
All the things we're delaying.
Really?
No.
So, all right, since you've decided to say that,
I've opened a can of worms.
fine. Is Bank Bidders still coming?
So Bank Bidders has been postponed for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
We have postponed it for the foreseeable future. That's we want to get our growth guys working on achievements. So they're moving away from Bank Bidders. We may well kind of coincide it with RuneFest or do something else with it in the future, but for the moment we're not doing any more development. We're kind of 3/4 of the way through. But
Raven's trying to point something out, which I've spotted as well. I mean, that's completely fair enough. Obviously, in regards to achievements,
So the reason for it,
Okay,
largely,
sure.
is the Bank Bidders. Like when we announced it, like a lot of people were talking about Bank Bidders in the press. I know that not every update should be about the press, and obviously we want it to be for the players, but people were speaking about it, and it was getting people interested in RuneScape. But really, we're going to be kicking up about talking about Menethos very soon, like doing it in earnest and doing it properly, and really kind of revealing why we think this is just a fantastic update. To do that at the same time as Bank Bidders doesn't make much sense to us, so we're just kind of holding back a wee bit and just rethinking what we're doing with it.
Okay, fair enough. So just to go over to the wardrobe rework. So got a question here. With changes recently made to the wardrobe and expanded keepsake section, will we see the items suggested on the keepsake whitelist for and Fred made keepsakeable anytime soon?
Sure. If there's a list, which I didn't know there was a list, but if there is one,
Ninja form.
by all means, that's something that myself or anyone that's always happy to pick up stuff during tap or that sort of thing shouldn't be too hard for us to add to the list. Assuming there's not any odd items in there, because if they're quest items, we have to take some things into consideration. But by all means, I will find that thread wherever that is.
Excuse me. So obviously, got a question, if you don't mind me bringing it up, about the worn equipment tab. So there was a bit of discussion about it because obviously for some players who have a bigger worn equipment tab, it was kind of a change for them. Yeah. And the layout and stuff. Has there been any discussion since since then?
As you can imagine, because it was certainly a point yesterday, it was dominating, forums and Reddit. Obviously, we're talking about it. It's come down a wee bit today, but we're still monitoring it.
Sure.
There are a number of things that I want to mention. So the reason we did it was to have consistency between the wardrobe and the worn equipment, the way that the equipment is presented. Yeah. So that's the reason we did it, for consistency. I don't know why.
They're reading the chat because it says Ramen is so small you're going to lose him down the back of the couch.
It's like because I'm so far back and this is really uncomfortable.
Oh, are we doing some kind of Hobbit-like special effect?
Turned off.
This is great.
So I'm just going to accept it.
Ramen the baby. So we did it for consistency reasons, which makes sense if you're a new player, so that you understand.
So you want to bring it in line with what the wardrobe was presenting?
Yeah, exactly. So that it would be the same no matter which interface you're looking at. For me, a large part of this decision came to me, and so that's my fault. I probably should have kept in mind the conservatism. Like really, actually, you've got to have a good reason to change something.
Sure.
And we probably skewed more towards trying to be good design, like keeping it consistent for new players. So what we're doing is we're just monitoring it, seeing what people do, what people say, how they use it, and you know what? In the near future, we may introduce a toggle. We may revert it back, but we don't want to make a knee-jerk reaction just now.
All right, so I'm going to move over to luck rework. Now, just to clarify a few things, unfortunately, Timbo is not here today, so in his place, I have Monteg alongside me.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of questions.
Yep, I can do this.
I thought you were going to clap. Okay.
I don't know if that's new meme or not. Hard to tell. It's so hard to tell with these
That's
things.
going to be a clip all day, every day. Anyway.
It's just the generator of them.
So are you able to, just in a nutshell, kind of summarize what the luck rework is meant to do for when it comes out?
Boy, I hope so. Let's find out. So just to say it again and clarify, this is Mod Timbo's project. So when you hear this and it's great and you love it, Mod Timbo is the one you want to say that it's great for. So the idea of the luck week work is that over the years, the Ring of Wealth has sort of the value in it has started to feel a bit lessened. I feel like there are less rings to fewer reasons to bring it with me when I'm going off and doing Slayer or something, when I could bring a combat ring that has great effect or stats. So it's basically to try and make the Ring of Wealth, or at least the concept of the Ring of Wealth, more compelling. So there are going to be new Rings of Wealth, higher and lower level ones, and there's just going to be a change to the effects that it has to make it applicable in more situations. So it's going to be much more applicable to skilling, and it's going to be much more applicable in
Clue scrolls and bosses.
yeah, exactly.
And
Clue scrolls and more bosses and
raids and stuff.
like skilling nodes and even crafting
So
things.
are we? I don't know if you can confirm this or not, but does it also affect stuff based on what you do in the arc? So like origami masks, etc., etc.
Specifically, I don't think we did Arc yet. We've been looking at Arc, we've been looking at ports. There are a few things that it could affect that we quite like the idea of, but that's not for this.
Okay. Fair.
It's one of those things like we could keep feature creeping and then it would never come out. It's a good update as it stands. We've got 4 tiers of luck, new jewelry. It's good as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably also the case that things that are like updates going forward are probably going to include relevant luck-based effects.
All right. That's fine. So there's a bit of a question that came up regarding, because if I remember correctly, based on the way Timbo explained it, it was you can essentially carry the ring just in your backpack, but equip it when claiming the loot to roll that chance. Now, obviously, this introduces essentially another switch in that sense. I mean, is that the path we're going down, or is Switchscape as a whole going to be looked in the future?
So Switchscape is kind of the thing that the combat team is very aware of and are thinking about going forward. This does contribute a little bit to that, to try and offset it a little bit. The Ring of Wealth and the new luck rings that are coming in. There's going to be 4 in total, including the Ring of Wealth. That's 3, that's not 4. I know you caught that stream chat. There we go. The 4 rings, they're all going to gain combat stats. They are not going to be quite as powerful as, say, the Asylum Surgeon's ring, but it is going to make them like a little bit more. If I'm doing Slayer, I'm not doing something super intense. It doesn't really hurt so much if I just wear my Ring of Wealth or my Super Ring of Wealth. I could elaborate exactly what the Super Ring of Wealth is, because I think the chat is.
I believe it's called the Ring of the Dwarves, isn't it?
That's the top tier.
The top one is
Yeah.
going to be the Luck of the Dwarves.
Oh, Luck of the Dwarves.
That's going to be made with a brand new gem. It's
Alchemical onyx.
Yes, is
What level invention, Dave?
107.
Well done.
Ooh,
Well done.
See, I do my job occasionally.
is going to be the first piece of jewelry made with the alchemical arts, and there may be new pieces of jewelry released in the future with it. I don't have another thing to say, but I went in a way that I did.
No, that was good. That was good. It covers it, I think.
I believe, just to clarify as well, I think Timbo
There's
mentioned...
also a potion.
Yeah, so...
1 extra potion.
1 extra potion.
There we go, which will be equivalent to the tier 3 luck. So you'll take a regular luck potion and you'll be able to improve it.
Sure.
And it will be a better potion, a
So,
luckier potion.
are any of these degradable at all?
No, I think.
Are they tradable?
Yes.
They are tradable.
All these are going to be tradable rings.
All right.
That's pretty good. Because that like might bring in like some money making for skillers, high level skiller.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a bit more of a reward for having high level invention.
Yeah. No, it's filling out them gaps, which is good. And I like rings. So I've like that. I don't know how to say this.
You need to elaborate upon this now, otherwise now it will be awkward.
That's how you like rings.
Oh,
No,
jeez.
like so since like 2011, your ring has always been a very a very a very key piece of like equipment. So like way back in when mobilizing armies, you'd always have to bring your onyx and spend God knows how many hours there trying to get like that extra little bit of bonus. And over the years, that has always been the case. When Ring of Vigor came out, even though I don't know if that came out before mobilizing armies or not, but that then became a thing. And then along came the Asylum Surgeons, and that then became an awesome thing. So hopefully, when people are doing these bosses, maybe at the end you'll start seeing, because like at Next, people used to bring their ring switches, and then at the end they'd be like, Ring of Wealth.
It's time for multiple ring slots. That's what
Dragon
it's
Medhelm.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll start seeing that again, even though people do go switch.
It's kind of hard to say, isn't it?
Switchscape.
Helping
I
with
can't say
that a little bit, places where there are chests or corpses that you loot, you will be able to change the ring after you've already beaten the fight. So if you're at raids, you can kill a boss with your regular equipment. Afterwards, if you want, teleport out, go somewhere else, go to the bank, do whatever. And when you come back to Fetcher,
Nice.
you can put your luck ring
cool.
on and
that
get the
works for,
benefits
like
there.
QBD and...
Yes,
Tell
so
us.
anywhere where the loot doesn't come out immediately,
All right,
you'll
so
be able to take a break,
Yeah.
put your
You
actual
can't
ring on.
return to Araxi, or can you?
Well, you can't return, but
But it still doesn't mean you have to do it in combat, which
Yeah,
is
exactly.
something.
Yeah,
You don't have to last minute, like 100 life points left, put the ring on.
Yeah, but that was always the exciting bit.
Oh, okay, right.
the last minute
I'm gonna,
rings-
I'll
rings
tell
reg.
Timbo to undo that bit. Never mind.
So, just another thing as well. I believe, just clarify from Ron, but I believe the rare drop table is now its own role as well.
Yes. So that's
Yeah.
probably going to be one of the biggest thing. I've seen so many people complaining about that for so long on Reddit, on the forums about
Next, for example.
my good drop got replaced by the rare drop table. So it's now always going to be its own separate pile. So it's going to feel like a little bit more of a reward.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can answer this because obviously Timbo's the game balancer, but I mean, obviously this in essence introduces an injection of more items because, for example, you go next, you're now getting more. I mean, is there a long-term effect on this, or?
I mean, you're not wrong. It is going to bring more items into the game, but I think it's not going to nudge it by an unhealthy amount.
Sure.
I mean,
We've run the numbers.
yeah,
We know
exactly. It is a project designed by the game's balancer, so it is unlikely to go wild with it. It's very considered.
And just to clarify for everyone in the chat, we've not talked about name release news just yet, so just as a heads up for everyone on that one. And I believe, in regards to the luck rework, unless I've missed anything that you want to cover generally, I think that's it.
I'm going to slide forward and carefully look at my cheat sheet that no one knows I've got.
Although they can see it.
Oh, it's on camera.
Oh, God, they can see the pictures.
Why didn't I put it right up here so I could just see it? No, I've got nothing.
All right, now this is, so I'm going to have to pass this to you, because you're going to have to ask these, because otherwise I'm just going to be asking
Oh,
myself.
brilliant.
Ask him
Where am I-
about the buff bar.
Oh, great.
Really? Really?
Mod Shawnee, I'm going to ask you about the buff bar. I'm sure you didn't see this coming.
You're gonna give an overview of it or anything? You're gonna sell it as to what it is?
No, I'm not. I'm going to ask you to do that. Mod Shawnee, can you tell us a little bit about the buff bar? What's changing with it? Is there any new updates coming with it?
So when the update comes out later this month, the plan is to split the buff bar into buffs and debuffs. So it'll introduce a new top level interface. So it means that you can move, you'll get debuffs in a specific interface and buffs in another interface. So you can now essentially split them out instead of having them mixed. What it's meant is that you can now have up to 30 icons in your buff bar, 18 positives and 12 negatives.
So there are going to be more buff icon
Yes.
slots. Because I know that I've been complaining about that on the forums a lot.
But, oh, wow, I'm glad to have addressed this. Go on.
Are you adding any other features to help me manage my buff bars?
So
And debuff bar now.
So I'm adding, Deg, you should host these from now on. I'm just saying, geez. I still.
We've answered like 5 questions.
So I've added buff filter in, so that means going through all 223 buff icons and giving them a category.
All right.
There's 10 categories.
It's not that big of a deal. You make it sound like a lot of work. Show off. All right. Okay.
This is amongst all of his replies on Reddit and things like this. You know,
Yeah,
he's
it's part of the fun.
he's
sorry,
multi-talented.
It's okay.
okay.
So
It's
when
a big deal.
you toggle it off, it will essentially hide that category of buff icons. So if you, for example, if I'm protecting, if I have an overhead prayer, I don't want to see it as a buff icon because I see it above my head. I can just toggle it off, save an extra space. With it, I've added 10 tweaks or new icons. So 4 Beastmaster debuff boss icons, 1 Yakimaru debuff icon, an enhanced Excalibur cooldown, a Blood Essence cooldown, and added a duration to Revenge and tweaked Transfigure so it shows the percentage of health you get back instead of a number, and added a stun immune icon. So that's all of it for update 1. So,
Good
That's a
recall.
lot.
He's in like
Yeah.
kind of buff zone. He's just kind of.
He was looking in this
amazing.
direction. I was like wondering if he's actually reading something.
He's
so-
hidden his cheat sheet way better than I did.
yeah, I've got a better sheet. I've got it. But I mean, that pretty much covers update 1. The plan is to try and add stuff that's still informative. So, for example, when players are at AOD, if they get 5, 10, or 15 stacks, they lose. They get their defenses reset. So it would be nice to have a stacker on that for you. And just little things like that help communicate either boss information or even player information for players who are getting stuck in, basically.
And is this the end of them? Are you going to do more? Do you think? Or
I have.
so if people have ideas.
I
and-
have an update 2 ready for when update 1 goes out.
Really?
Which
Can you
has
tease the
13 more icons. It includes a couple of invention icons.
Really?
So an aftershock tracker.
Yeah.
So how much percentage aftershock has done before it can proc. Sign of life tracker. So you can see when your sign of life comes back.
You'll see that a lot. That was at
Burn.
you.
Oh, what me? Oh, he's not wrong.
And a Kraken
have to make
cooldown
some
and clan avatar buffs. You can see if the clan avatar is near you on your world. Just stuff like that. The idea
Yeah,
though
that's
is
nice.
that it'll be adding and adding and adding. And there's more and more and more. But yeah, that's the plan.
Is it fair to say that if people have got suggestions for
Yes.
more icons, that they can send them
And
to
they
you?
can totally do that.
Brilliant.
I'm up for adding whatever I think is worth it. I don't want to oversaturate the bar, but I want to add it with stuff that players can find really useful. Like Aftershock is a perfect example where if you know you're about to proc Aftershock, you want to keep it for when, let's say, the golems are coming at you at
Yeah.
Telos and stuff like that.
What about minutes until Kingdom takes over?
On your buff bar.
Minutes on your buff bar. It's a word.
Hours, mate, hours.
It's a
Send
word-
it in as a
it's
suggestion, it's fine.
The buff bar doesn't
consider
include
it.
will buffs. That's not the way it works.
Did you batch 1 or batch 2 clan avatar? You did just
Clan
list.
Avatar batch 2.
Okay.
I would love to get in for batch 1, but I don't
No,
want
no, I was just
I don't want to add more work for people.
I mean, we rattled through them.
Yeah,
Who
we did.
helped with the testing? It was.
So I've done all the the listing for QA to just go, okay.
Yeah,
we can just go
exactly.
straight and do
I'm
this.
just saying that we've got a good- quick turnaround.
Oh
we
yeah,
could
so
possibly
we
do
had the
this.
tap review and it's
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah,
very useful.
like credit to Shawnee as well. He's not a developer yet. He's added like how many buff
Yeah.
icons is there?
Yeah.
You know the
We're-
number off the top of your
we're
head?
up
how
to
many?
we're up to 23 now.
Shawnee owns.
So
That's his name.
it's nice to do. It's just if I don't know, it's because I'm in a position where I've been able to play and learn and kind of been able to see things that I don't think others would see because they're in they're used to
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z.
No, I know what you mean.
So it's just nice to have. I forgot to mention as well with batch 1 there's a dread nip timer as well, which
Yeah. which is like everybody's.
Which at Telos, like for me at Telos, Dreadnick's number one, so it's nice to have. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
So rather than asking all the specific ones that people are going through on chat, I assume you're probably going to post a list of the ones that you're doing. And if you've got suggestions that aren't on the list, send them to Shawnee. So why will there be fewer debuff icons than buff icons?
Because at the moment, when I went through the list, we have about a 70 to 30% split on positive versus negative buff icons. Now, with Update 1, it introduces 5 new debuff icons, and the idea is to introduce more and more as time goes on. However, you will definitely find yourself having more positive buff icons compared to negative buff icons as it stands. Obviously, that could change in the future, but that was the approach I took. And Update 1 is kind of a test to see just how far people can go with their buff bars. And then, if they manage to push it even further, then we have to look into ways of trying to sort that out. But we'll have to wait and see.
Okay. I've got some questions about some specific ones,
Sure.
but I think that you've just probably answered all of them, but I'll ask again. Are there going to be buff icons for the Vecna Skull?
Vecna I'm adding today after work.
The Stone of Jazz effect from the
That as well.
Glacior
Glacior.
Cave.
Yeah, the
Glacior's Glacior. I say both,
Yeah,
then I can't be wrong.
I wasn't
I'm pretty
pointing
sure
that
the
out.
original name in which Chris thought of is not how everyone actually names
Yeah,
it.
that is exactly right. It's the originator actually says Glacier.
Maybe we should all agree on Glacken, because then we can all be wrong, and then there's no argument anymore.
Anyway, I think there's a lot of conversation about Ardoin recently
Oh boy.
on Reddit. I know, I opened that can.
It's just Ardy. That's all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
How about with the Glacier buff icon, put it in the good one, the green one, when it's actually working. So in an area, so people don't tweet us like, "Does it work here?" It's like, no, if it's down
Don't
here.
do your tweet voice.
Sorry, that wasn't my tweet voice.
Everyone
Does it work here?
That's what
No, that'd be cool. That'd be a good idea because then people are able to understand where it's working, where it's not, and then when they see it's red, they
Let's
can
do it.
let us know.
And now on to arc fixes. I'm taking over.
That's fine.
How will we... well, do you want to talk about arc fixes? Do you want to explain what arc fixes are?
Yeah,
Will be?
I'm going to have to do this off the top of my head. You might have to help me here
Sure.
a little bit. But instead of when we populate an Uncharted Isle, they won't be on top of each other. Planks in ridiculous top of trees, etc. We've sorted that a wee bit. Your journal as well is going to tell you which nodes on your Uncharted Isle have been exhausted.
Only if claimed.
Only claims. That's
So
true.
yeah, it's essentially it's really cool. I'm actually amazed by how Orion did that. But
Yeah, it's really
like
nice.
you claim your island. So obviously flags are free. So when this update comes out, you can stock up on like 100 flags.
Yep.
Go to an island, and instead of you having to run all the way around the island, put the flag down straight away. Look at your journal, and you know the nodes that are there straight away.
Yeah.
So you can just go
Yeah.
from there.
He
Pretty
explained
nice.
that so much better than I did. That's awesome.
That is
good.
pretty premium.
That's
right?
pretty
That's pretty
It's
good.
pretty awesome.
There are a few other things. I know that there's a headline of the Hanto outfit will be for a steep number of chimes and
Are
possibly
we
some
able to
Taiji
share what they are?
I would if I could, but I can't. So
Okay.
I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
I apologise.
Do you know
Not the
if it's-
exact number.
Do you know if it's just going to be chimes and
It's
Taiji
chimes
2?
and Taiji 2.
No other requirements.
I believe that's correct.
I'm
It's
pretty
steep.
sure it is.
Regardless, it's steep. This is something that's a real kind of long-termer for people who are doing Isles.
And that's that bit. Okay, you can have it back now, I guess. I'm not gonna...
But yeah, thanks to Mod Orion for getting all that done. And that's coming soon. Yeah, very soon.
All right, so we've got some general, because we haven't had a Q&A with general questions for a while, so it's a good opportunity to kind of just bring that in. But before I get into it, Ryan, I want to talk to you about the update you were involved with yesterday as well.
Yes,
Which
yes.
I guess technically was 5 outfits when I look back on it, because there were
Yes,
4
5
non-elites and 1 elite, right?
Yep.
So
four normal.
can you summarise the 4 normal, the 4 non-elites, I should say?
Yeah, sure. So Monday saw the release of some of the normal skilling outfits brought to the game, not via Treasure Hunter. So they were... I'm going to name them by skill because I can't remember the names.
First stage
Divination. Divination outfit, which is obtainable from Gothixian Cache. Prayer, thank you. Which is obtainable for Ecto tokens at a cost, which I think is 1,000 per piece.
Yep.
I could be
Yes,
wrong.
no, it's 1,000 per piece.
1,000 per piece, and there's a ghost by the Ectofuntus.
Yep.
Ectofuntus?
Yep.
Yep.
Fantasy, yeah.
Finally used for tokens. Get in.
Yes, there.
Get in.
After I destroyed all of mine.
They're in the currency pouch, you can't destroy them.
No,
Destroyed
a while ago.
Cooking, which is available from the Gnome Restaurant minigame, which you have to deliver. It's only available from the hard tasks, hard deliveries. You have to deliver various
That's the sous
food
chef,
around.
isn't it? And then with
Yeah,
summoning.
that's the sous chef's outfit and summoning. Yep, which is available from familiarization minigame, D&D actually, and you convert your points into a reward crate, which is full of summoning supplies, but you can win a piece from that. So that's the 4 normal ones. The other one, the 5th one, is an elite outfit. So seeing, we released the Gemstone Golem and Rune Ethereal outfits last year, I think.
Yeah,
Towards the end of.
last November, I believe it was.
Yes,
So we thought it was time.
yeah, it's time to bring another one into the game. The next one in terms of what was released, Shark Outfit. So Shark Outfit is now available in game. Same means, which is, I cannot remember the levels. I hope can you remember the levels? You need
Level 70,
80 invention.
level 70 fishing for it to be eligible for it.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you can start
20
earning fragments.
inventions.
20.
And also,
20 invention.
a tip on that is unlock your aquarium if you're going to go for it, because then you get 2 birds with 1 shark.
Oh, Jesus.
2
How long were you
birds
thinking
with 1
you-
shot.
How long did you have that one on mind?
That doesn't actually make sense. When does he ever?
Oh, dear.
But yeah, so that is another one.
difficult
now
fire.
obtainable in game. This is the standard Shark Outfit. It's got all its cool effects. There's nothing different. Just obtainable in game now.
But later on this month, there'll be another elite, I believe. We announced that behind the scenes, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, there we
we
go.
announced the
Woodcutting.
Yeah, we
Elite
announced the
woodcutting.
woodcutting outfit. Yep.
So there'll be another one coming soon, which will eventually
Alright.
find its way in
Did
game. Yes, we did.
Well, we have now.
He did the BTS, so I'd be worried if he didn't think that he announced
Indeed.
it.
Indeed.
Well, I guess we have now.
But we
Yeah.
haven't specifically talked about
No,
it.
we haven't
So we've just obviously overviewed it, but that's pretty much it. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll leave it for players to
Yeah.
discover it and see what comes out of it.
I think Ryan could also talk about the event coming up. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I can talk about an event coming up
Yeah.
as well. So we have, this was mentioned in the behind the scenes, another event coming up which is to do with the Fury...
Twin Furies.
Twin Furies.
There's a reason why Osborne's making that face.
It may be that we haven't announced it. It was originally in the script. I would like to
dear.
apologise to the entirety of our monetisation teams. I do apologise.
And we say no
Okay.
more.
Now I've lost track. What was
You're
I
talking
doing?
about the
Twin Furies.
the
Okay,
Twin
there's
Fury-
another
yes.
event. Yep. So this follows similar to some of our other events we've released recently. You can obtain a set of currency in game via training methods. Since some of the previous ones we've done, say for example, Deathbeard's Demise, which was the pirate outfit, there were some issues where people said they didn't like the flashing on the interface. They didn't like some of the
notifications.
Yeah, the notifications constantly. So I've made some changes so that it doesn't flash all the time anymore. You know, remove some of the
Oh,
messaging.
yes. Thank
So
you.
we filled
Thank
the
you so
messaging.
much.
There's a few quality of life stuff in there just to make it easier, but essentially there is a story behind that one. You are collecting a specific item which is related to the story, but I'm not going to...
I'm not sure if it's related to this one coming out, but the 120 All broadcast. Can you talk about that as well?
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that's
so
it.
I tweeted something, yeah. Was it this week, last week?
It
Last
was a few days ago. It was literally Monday, I believe.
Okay. The other day, I was playing around, just messing with some stuff, using my tap, and I essentially made it so that the messages in game that say Shawnee has achieved 104 million, etc.
I
XP in
wish.
the skill. Can't all be that.
Alright.
And so yeah, the message that said 104 million in a specific skill, you can now purchase the Master Cape. It was quite long. It was very different from the messaging that we have in game to say, you know, player has achieved 120 invention. Even though it is 120 in the skill, we just used to display it via XP because it's virtual level. So I changed that one so it now says, you know, Shawnee has achieved virtual level 120 in X skill. And whilst doing that, I thought I may as well add a player has achieved 120 all skills broadcast, but it specifically specifies it is virtual level. But yeah, it's just like the maxing message just for 120 all, so that's pretty handy. And if you're asking about when that's going to be released, whenever I next finish it, so probably soon, and then it has to go through the testing process and stuff. So you can, I would say, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, from finishing something, you normally
Yeah.
wait in 2 weeks because of RC and QA.
Well, can I spoil my own little updates? Am I allowed to do that?
I'll go and do some self-promotion.
Just give him the paper and
No,
then spoil it.
no, it's not on here. It's
Write it on here. Wait, I have a pen. Write it down. I'll ask you some questions about it.
No, so I have to bring it up. So since the woodcutting outfit is on the way,
Yes.
and
Rubik, don't put that in the. I'm going to put him in an impossible position. Don't put it on the Reddit. No Reddit.
obviously people love doing, let's say, crystallized antiques, etc. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping by next Monday that the crystallizer timer should be in.
Oh,
Should be
nice.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
should be good
gonna be
timing with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to bring that up. Okay, so you mentioned the TLE. We've got a couple of questions here. So, as much as I love collecting stuff while training, these collecting while training events are becoming super often. Is this type of event becoming the norm? If so, are all rewards from the previous major events going to be included in these when you collect the event boxes?
Okay, so I can't give definitive answers because I'm not entirely
That's fair.
sure. However, the items that you've obtained from each event, so the actual like Deathbid's Demise outfit, etc., that won't be obtainable in any boxes.
So they're exclusives then?
They are
give or
exclusive to
take.
the event.
Okay.
Each event, so with Deathbid's Demise, we released some old, like many years ago, there was a Talk or Walk Like a Pirate event. I can't remember, it was possibly Talk Like a Pirate. There were some items then, we put those in the mystery boxes. If we have, items from many years ago that aren't obtainable anymore, but they're not, we don't want to step on the toes of, we can't just suddenly release party hats again, that sort of thing. But there are some items that they don't have that sort of effect, they're untradeable, but we can bring them back into the game, so we're more than happy to put those in mystery boxes where possible.
Sure.
I could probably have a go at the other question, which is the rate of them.
Sure.
Which was what part of the question, which is, the current plan, so obviously things change, is the next month will be a bit of a gap. So so there won't be another one next month. And then we are looking to just kind of, we are looking at mixing them up, trying out new mechanics in them as well in the future, so keep an eye out for that. It won't always be the same format necessarily.
Wait, just to clarify this, we're never adding party hats. I use it that's the worst thing to use as an example.
We'll just use ramen. She's got one lying about.
That should literally be on our
don't
censor list. We should never
shouldn't
ever,
mention
it should be on
party
a
hats.
censor list and should never mention it ever.
Yeah.
Yes. So while we're going through the general questions, if anyone in the chat wants to ask any questions as well, we'll try and gather what we can and pick them up as we go on. Probably a question for you, Raman. Are Iron Men ever going to get access to Blast Furnace and Flash Powder? These are both solarable and great for main. Both solarable and great for Iron Man.
How do they
Could
know they're
be
great for
exploitable.
Iron Man? Because they can't do it.
Because
Maybe. There were a couple of things I do want to do with Iron Man first. I need to give them access to some of these Saren spells. I've been saying I want to do that for a while.
anyone's in particular?
I don't know at the moment. I've
Okay,
got to
sure.
go through them and be like, okay, maybe they can cast this, but they can't benefit from other people's casting. I was always saying it beforehand, but obviously they didn't know I was working on AOD, so I didn't really have the time. Now I've come off of AOD and I'm working on Shattered Worlds with the Eternals. And then we're going on to another project. If I get some downtime, hopefully I'll use my tap, although I would like to use my tap for grander things, let's say.
Virago quest that we need to finish.
Variety
Hey.
Quest
Oh, yeah.
and
Next
grander
three.
things. Like next
Next
three.
four.
She is rather... No, I can't. I was going to try and work that into wordplay, but no, it's something I could consider. It's on a big post-it note of Iron Man things.
Sure. Someone brought it up in chat, but Harrison tweeted about this yesterday. The T92 dies looked,
Yeah.
I mean, based on what he tweeted, looked amazing. The rest of them look incredible, but do we know where we're at in regards to T92 dies?
So we had the modelling done for it quite a while ago. I just realised he has a bug upstairs. We had the modelling done for it quite a while ago, but it's making the massive amount of configs there are for
Sure.
it. Pretty sure he got all the Telos ones done today. I don't think the modellings have been done for the Tier 92 Wand and Orb.
Way to confirm.
Confirm what?
Doesn't mean
that's
it's going to
been
get done. It just
Yeah.
hasn't been done.
Yeah, it hasn't been done. It might get done. I know it shouldn't be too hard for Chambers because he's done a lot of them before. But as far as I know, he's completed everything today. I don't want to say that, but he's been tweeting out a couple of teasers on his Twitter, which is at Jaggers Harrison.
He's definitely getting through them based on what we've seen for sure.
No, he's got the majority of the work done, so it'd be good to see them.
Yep. All right. So I got a couple of more general questions here. Can identical divine locations be made so they cannot be placed near each other? Brackets similar to portables.
Yes is the answer, but as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone, but they can't be placed directly next to each other.
They can.
They-
I'm
Have
pretty
you not
sure,
been to
they
World
can.
2 in
Did we
Burford?
really? I swear we. I swear there was a change made. If there wasn't, then yeah. I mean, we can allow them
How
to
have
be.
you not seen any images where people go in Priff and literally put all their divine portables in, like...
I haven't done my portables in a while, actually, but yeah, that's easily doable. If they want it to work similar to portables, allow some form of spacing around them. I don't want to be too... I mean, yeah, basically yes is the answer. That can be done easily. I'm more than happy to do that.
Awesome. Can the warning dialogue when trying to remove a tree from a tree patch be toggled off, please?
We need a ninja here.
Yeah, why not? Ninjas agree.
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea, but you would want it on. You would have to force it on some trees, like the crystal tree in Priff. Because if someone accidentally right-clicked clear and didn't go through the warning, they'd probably because the seed's 1 in 5k or something.
That's why we make it a toggle, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you're accepting that risk, you check
things
that
really,
box.
Some things really don't need toggles. Like if you right-click clear on your papaya tree and you actually lost it, I doubt you're going to get emotional over that. But if you lost your acorn, you would.
You might not know what people get emotional over,
Oh,
Rowan.
trust me.
Dave, if you accidentally dug up your papaya tree, you get emotional.
I have rage quit over a papaya tree.
All right. Could the two leprechauns and farmers be stationary? It's hard to click on them when I'm on a laptop with no mouse.
Oh God, I really want that actually. Now that you've read that,
This has come up multiple times, believe, and I do not want to answer like Dig did on behalf of Mod Kelpie, but I imagine it's in their backlog. I imagine.
It
But
just
I can
tickles
go
me the idea of
poke
them just
them.
like, come on, leprechaun, come on, and it's just moving around. Poor person.
some of the places where there are lots of trees around,
Yeah.
they hide underneath them. It's very frustrating.
What, like the tree gnome village?
Yeah, that's the exact one. That's actually annoying me.
So I don't take offense to this question. The month ahead contains alarmingly little content, and ModMac isn't in it. Are there any other surprise updates in there or not? I know we clarified this at the start of stream, but just as a
There's
reminder.
two statements and then a question.
Yeah.
It's not enough. So the first part was
Alarmingly little major content.
yeah. So I do appreciate that there's not much content to play through. So we call that additive content, things that kind of give you a goal. Luck Rework's probably the closest we've got to that. No, I completely understand. And part of the BTS was to say, look, this is all kind of quality life stuff that really helps your day to day. But really, we are focusing on 3 big updates that are coming soon: Achievements, Shattered Worlds, and Menaphos. And they're looking really good. But we have got some good stuff here, and it's really good about celebrating the kind of the passion projects that came through. Why isn't Mark? To be honest, Mark is so much better at doing the BTSs, and I would much prefer to see him doing them. It was just, I think he had a tooth problem.
Oh.
He had a cavity or it was swelling in the facial area.
You should go to Zenaris then.
So he can.
Well played, Rowan. Well played.
It's such a RuneScape dad joke. I love it. He couldn't do it. So whenever there's somebody who needs to be thrown in front of a camera, I'm generally there. And what was the third part? I forgot it already. Which was, are they going to be small? Yeah. So as I said,
updates.
yes, there will be surprise updates.
All right, awesome.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, by all means.
It's still a surprise, so I will say it's a surprise. But I'm working on something this week that I need to finish this week, which will hopefully, that isn't mentioned in the BTS, that will be in March. It's just another like small little side project, additive stuff.
All right.
Just so there is, you know, where possible, we are still working on various things. But as you know, as Mod Osborne said, you know, Menaphos, Shattered Worlds, and Achievement System are not small things by any means.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm also going to interrupt.
Go on, by all means.
There's a question that's just been scrolled past, and now I can no longer read.
It's there.
It was about whether does the ring will
The
the luck?
skilling.
Yes,
Yes.
skilling.
How
the
does it
luck
affect
rework
skilling?
affects
There you go.
skilling. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. So it will have effect outside of skilling. So
In skilling.
outside of Slayer. Oh,
That sounds
why am I even here?
Nests.
I don't know
So
words.
there's nests, geodes.
Well, there are going to be some new things as
Yeah.
well as existing
Oh,
nests
yeah,
and
true.
geodes.
Yes.
It is going to slightly improve your chances at doing wasteless crafting and herb lore and things like that if you've unlocked that from dungeoneering.
Which is pretty cool.
So it's
yeah.
even
That's
better chance
really
of saving.
good.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
And
Holy
for
crap.
things like fishing, where your spot can move, it's going to slightly decrease the chance that it's
really?
going to move.
How do you do
It might
that?
slightly reduce the rate that certain resources deplete. So it's going to have.
Jeez.
It is going to have effects outside of Slayer to slightly improve
I'm just
your
imagining-
experience scaling.
I'm just imagining that ring alongside a portable well and that effect. Oh my goodness! Wow.
So I imagine there'll be more of a list when we get closer.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's so
Well,
the
they'll,
level of resources or activities it will affect is going to be based on the tier of
Summoning?
Or the
Maybe.
gems.
Saving gems or anything like that.
probably.
Probably. All right.
If not, my Timbo now knows.
Maybe. So the things that it will affect will be based on the tier of the luck effect that you've got. So the brand new super duper ring that comes from Invention, any skilling activity, you're going to have increased chance at wasteless, you're going to have increased chance for it to not deplete. Whereas if you're wearing the lowest tier ring, which is going to be below the Ring of Wealth, that will only affect things up to about level 20 or 30, something like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't go very high.
And there's also questions about construction rework, that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that.
Oh, is it one of them? Oh, sorry.
It's literally the next
I'm
one.
doing it again. I'm doing your script.
So, for some reason, I remember a POH rework being talked about, even if only hypothetically. Are there only plans to do such a thing? And if so, would it make me not regret just waiting until then to redecorate?
Oh, redecorate.
Redecorate, always redecorate. When we first showed construction rework during the Summer Summit, I think it was.
Well remembered.
That was just a kind of proof of concept that, do you like this? Because if you like this, then vote for it in the survey, because we slapped it in the survey. It did all right. It came kind of lowish out of the reworks, but like in the top 12, I think, of all, reworks for skewing quite high. For that reason, it didn't beat out bank rework, it didn't beat out mining and smithing reworks that we're going to do this year. But the point is, we've got expansions coming up. Expansions are going to contain content that we don't want to reveal just now. They're going to come up soon. There are rework projects inside those. I don't really want to reveal if construction's one of them, but
Sure.
hold out, wait out. There's some rework kind of elements within expansions.
Is the luck rework going to affect the drop of champion scrolls? Obviously, a quite contested question, depending on how you see it, because it's related to
Comp and
and trim, etc.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
We've had a last-minute replacement for my Timbo with my deck, who's done an ample job. But obviously, there's certain questions we can't answer.
I've tried my best, but I don't necessarily know all of the
Ample.
edge cases.
All right, so I've got a couple of questions from the chat here. Will the Lumbridge Castle wall be fixed up too? It looks a bit odd now without it, including ground textures between the Lumbridge Crater and Swamp.
What's up with that?
When you say the wall, do you mean the wall down the... Oh, I'm talking to a
If you
screen.
copy-pasted the pond, you could have copy-pasted the wall. Come on.
So the wall to the left-hand side, maybe I'll extend it a bit more into the swamp and move the travellers back over. As for the wall behind Lumbridge Castle, maybe it's kind of an easy, like, you can go out. No one's attacking Lumbridge, except for Zamorak.
Not anymore. He's bored.
Yeah, like, Lumbridge is home, so people aren't going to attack home.
Mod Ramen, what's the lore behind the Lumbridge Crater being refilled with grass if
Yes.
the anima was drained from the... You're not listening, are you?
I am.
Okay.
I can repeat that question with my eyes closed.
Do it.
Ramen, what is the lore behind the Lumbridge Crater being reclaimed, and why has it got grass?
No,
That's close, but
It's good effort. Anyway, being refilled with grass if the anima was drained from the area.
So,
That means he doesn't know and he's
no,
making it up.
there is lore.
it's the law face.
We discussed it. So basically, because the area's been dead for a while, you know how like you put a swimming pool down on some grass, right? This is a good example. You put a swimming pool down on some grass, like you have in the summer, and then you lift it up in the winter, and
Yeah.
like everything underneath it's dead. Basically, that is essentially what happened with Gillinor and the Lumbridge Crater. And slowly, when it comes to spring, things start to creep back in. Guthix druids are like, that is a rock. That is
There's probably
now
some splash
a
over
tree."
from that swimming pool as well. Like you've been splashing around.
And like nature just starts to reclaim it. So over the years, nature started to reclaim, and what event one was almost 4 years ago. Almost 4 years ago. So over that time, trees have started to sprout. You know, little rabbits have started nesting in the area. Somehow a pond appeared.
Trees have started to sprout.
Yeah.
So in summary, just to get this straight,
No, it's spring that happens.
the crater was like a swimming pool that we put over Gillinor,
Yeah.
and it froze over.
That is the best
And we pulled
way
that
I
up.
could have. Yeah, and then it started to grow back.
Right, that makes no
That
sense.
explains Claudia's appearance as well, right?
Yeah.
They're in the
It's like a little
beach.
woodland.
That nicely ties that up. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, essentially there is no like. A Guthix druid was like, I've had enough. You know, we've been kicked off the top of the castle. We can't put up
anything
the
to add to that?
How about like we do a video series called Ramen Explained, and so why is the sky blue? We'll get some questions from kids maybe, and sorry.
The series I want to see is him explain and then someone else guess what he's explaining.
Oh my
But yeah,
goodness.
no, there's like
Start filming now, please.
Guthixian druids basically wanted it green again, and they wanted rabbits. Done.
All right. That ties in very quickly. Can we please remove the penguins and snow patch from the desert after the recent penguin quest? They look really bad and break the immersion of the desert.
No, not as it's built, I believe. It's not built in that it is instanced or multi in any way.
Yeah, we'd have to Yeah, I mean, this is more of a question, of course, for Mod Nexus or Mod Helen, but I think it's intentional that it's still there. I mean, if it is breaking the immersion and there is a reason why it can be removed, then they might be able to.
I'll be
but
honest,
I don't think it can be removed.
It's
that
odd.
easily.
It is odd when you're running south of Bandits Camp and you just see snow as you're running across the desert, but then you see the penguins. But you know,
We'll ask them. We'll ask them.
Yeah.
so currency patch question. This is coming to you, Oscar.
Oh, great.
Could the currency patch preview before opening the entire interface be in line with your inventory interface? Right now, the 4x1 shows spaced in even if your inventory is
So I'm going to
tighter.
give a vague answer on this. That currency pouch came out really high on the Ninja hit list, the one that they put up. So a full-on currency pouch rework. That is an element of it. They're going. It falls into the Ninja question that I just pointed out before, which is some of the larger updates going to take a little bit longer to do. But because of just headcount at the moment, but it will happen.
And are there any plans to add clues, effigies, and charms to Goblins Dungeon 2 bosses, or give a use for the seals after max reputation?
To my memory, there is no plan to give a use to the seals after max reputation. You haven't got any reason to hold on to them or hoard them, and we are probably not going to add clues, effigies, or charms. The bosses already have plenty of great stuff, already plenty lucrative.
Sorry, my mind.
What
Sorry, I've just realised this. Sorry, finish your sentence by all means. I'll explain in just a second.
It's had an epiphany.
Yeah, buff bar.
No. I just so people are going. Match has had many major updates. I'd like to say two things that are coming out next week if possible.
Go on.
Static spawn changes, and the attack option priority as well. So match, people are like, ooh, match is a bit quiet. There's some good stuff coming up.
Yeah, static spawn changes is kind of huge.
Yes. I mean, can you can we talk about that a little bit if possible?
I can explain it.
Yeah, please.
Ryan, do you want
Please
to
do.
explain
Or yours.
it? Okay, so basically,
There you go. That's how you get hype.
years ago, years and years ago,
Is that your old man voice?
that's my day.
Oh! Big Daddy Obo to you.
Oh God.
No, Honey Five.
That is to you.
So years ago, up until this week, essentially, spawns have been boss spawns and Slayer creature spawns have been based off how many people are actually in the world. So obviously, as you know, slowly less and less people are online, things have got slower. So even though we've added things like instances where you can set your spawn speed, this doesn't really help to things like Slayer where Abyssal Demons are spawning in. So now we've actually done, we said, enough of that. Here is a fixed rate. I think it's set at roughly 1,000 people per world.
I believe, yeah.
So it's based off that. So from Monday, I don't know when it is, but soon, your creatures are going to spawn faster, and your bosses will spawn faster. Even though realistically, if you wanted your bosses to spawn faster, you would use the instancing system. I know it's been a big job for whoever's testing it. I believe that was Mod Harrison because it's not just the case of let's turn
There's
the
an engine
dial
and
up to
platform work
1,000.
there as well.
Yeah, it's literally go around and be like, you come back in like
So that is one of the surprise updates we were talking about, but we have got others as well.
Yeah.
So don't feel like that was the
Oh,
surprise
I
update.
apologise.
No. We've got others in the
unless
bag.
that was
Okay.
the surprise update Ryan was
We have,
talking about
no,
earlier.
we have many
Oh,
surprises, but
jeez.
they're even surprises to each
I'm
other.
sorry. I'm like,
It's just in case people were
I'm like-
wondering if that was a surprise update.
I'm like, don't get annoyed by the fact that it's a bad month. There's really good stuff.
Yeah, often it's dependent on perspective. I find that there are people who are just, I want more stuff. Give me stuff to do. Give me a new quest. Give me a new boss. Give me something to play. For other people, that's not the case. So other people have called this one of the best months they've seen because it's all quality of life stuff. It's improving the way they normally train. So it's dependent on what kind of player you are, your perspective this month.
So a couple of other things that came. So we covered Clue rework already during the stream. The JMod calendar, the mods, mod orator, and
Yes,
I hate saying
mod
that.
orator. It's terrible. We call him mod Ryan Reynolds now. Not Ryan. No, it's Ryan Gosling.
There we go.
And
Mod Chaplain.
Mod Chaplain, thank you,
Yeah.
Ryan. Mod Chaplain, that was something they were involved
Yeah,
with.
it's a cracking update.
Do we know where that?
It's just reliant on a couple of additional teams. As soon as you start bringing in other teams, so we want to make sure it does the right things for marketing, right things for MTX, right things for you, to be honest. So it just needs to go through a few more teams, and that prolongs the process a bit. So it won't be too long. We love it.
All right, so we'll take. I'll go through two more questions. What's going on with dailies? Where are we at with that?
Dailies, yes. So that hasn't been forgotten. I know that there was a question a little bit earlier about Wildy Warbands. I think probably out of a fear of us stripping it out. As soon as we mentioned like Wildy Warbands as an example of a daily that would have to be changed, went upstairs and Mod
I think
Mod Pi immediately jumped on me and started kind of, I don't know, pummeling. But it's more about those ones that have a real load on you, that kind of take up your headspace and take you away from the core gameplay that you just want to play. So we're looking to deal with that. Not in the next month or two. It's going to come from the growth team. It's going to be one of their priorities, just not yet.
Sure, and obviously with the update, we saw a couple of pets coming into the interface. 6 of them, I believe it was. One of them was Jad, who is under as a follower pet, not a boss pet. Why is that?
We discussed it, and then we realised that he should be in the boss pets interface.
Okay.
Because I believe the Barrows bobbleheads, which are a requirement for Insane Final Boss, they are in the boss pets tab.
I believe Little Tuzzy and
But they
Kra
still,
are also
Tuzzy,
in
yeah.
but the bobbleheads can't override pets at the moment. So originally, so Jad can't override pets, and by default, follower pets can't override. Is that correct? Either way, he's supposed to be there. He's supposed to be
Yeah,
there.
it's just
he
a
can be
case
moved.
of changing one thing.
But yeah.
All right, and then our final one. Can we get a person outside of Araxi to claim loot if we die as she dies?
No. You
Fair.
died.
Yeah.
But then I guess the question is, why do you get to do that for Telos?
That's a good idea. We should remove that.
But Telos has Telos has a specific streaking.
Why did I say anything?
Telos has a,
Arguably as well, Raxi has a mechanic in which there is a very high chance of you dying at the same time.
yeah.
You know, like if you're not experienced with it or you're new to the boss. I mean, you can tell us, like when Shawnee, when you first started doing Araxi, there are many situations when people get very close to killing Araxi and then they die.
I
as
didn't
well.
expect the enrage ramp up when you're on phase 4 catches you out when you're first doing it. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
And for someone who just said in the chat, thanks for dodging name release questions, there is...
Release his name.
You're not dodging.
As it stands, I can tell you there were discussions that happened earlier on. However, the big thing with this is communicating it, because it will get busy, because people want to get the name they want, etc., etc.
Honey Thighs is already gone.
Honey Pfizer was
devastating.
like that, literally gone. The moment that
the moment I
video
filmed
went-
it, I went on and it had gone.
But basically, all I can give you right now is that the moment we have news and like concrete news that we can say we're doing it at this date or this time or however we plan to do it, we will tell you.
Yeah.
Trust me when
We're
I say
trying to do this to be as fair as possible to people who want to
and
get
we're
them.
not deliberately holding it back, because
Yeah.
it's going to be a lot of work for us as well when that day comes.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get very, very busy.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty much what it's going on about. But apart from that,
Can you talk about right-click priority?
yeah, that's why I've mentioned as well. That's why I was like,
No.
Oh, do you wanna talk about it?
Can you go into it, or one of you guys that know more about it?
I don't know.
There's 4 options. I believe it's like
that's coming soon. So that's on
that's very
game
that's,
options.
That's
yeah.
coming soon.
Is
yes.
this is for
So you can-
right-click options for players?
Yes, I believe so.
And mobs, I think.
So
Plays on mobs,
you
I
can
think, yes.
determine, what is the left click up on a? Is this what we're talking about? Left click up on a thieving
Oh, yes. This is the one
NPC,
that
for
John showed
example.
me.
Yes.
So instead of constantly attacking when you mean to thieve, etc., you
Okay,
can toggle
yeah.
and move that route.
Really? Yes. Oh.
I know, I did that noise too.
Oh, no, that wouldn't matter, because Monkey Knife Fighters, you've got right-click, knock out,
You could change
then
that.
you spam click pickpocket.
Toggle,
No, that
toggle that
wouldn't be
monkey.
efficient, would it?
Toggle it.
Why don't you try it?
Tell us, efficiency master.
Efficiency master?
All right.
Anyway.
I said that was the last question, but someone said, "Why did you want the name Honey Thighs?" Please be honest.
There is such a long answer to this question that I cannot.
Okay.
There is a story behind Honey Thighs, but now I've mentioned that there's a story.
Now you've mentioned there's a story.
Story time with Mon Osborne?
So, oh god, it's not even a really good story. I know. My wife gets texted by, she's got a friend, female friend, and I got hold of my wife's phone, and I replied that, complimented her as Honey Thighs to try to get it kind of looking like my wife was hitting on her.
What?
It was a weird one. I don't know where I'm going with this. Honey Thighs is an in-joke for my friends, but it's also a fantastic name. And it turns out it does have an Urban Dictionary
Oh, jeez.
definition, which I didn't realise at the time. Anyway.
Number heads on that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, why do I do these things? I apologise.
No, so in a nutshell, so what you can look forward to is the luck rework. You can expect other pretty awesome little surprise updates along the way as well. But most of all, of course, please, as always, keep the feedback and questions, everything else coming in, because we do respond so much, and I think it's proof compared to many other gaming companies, if I'm completely honest, based on our interaction. We're pretty up there, and we always try to be as open as possible wherever we're doing. So please, by all means, keep feedback and stuff coming in, but most of all, we'll get ready to see you on, I do not believe there's a Dev Q&A next Tuesday. There's not a Dev Q&A next Tuesday, so keep an eye out for, I guess, my stream on Friday, or I'll be going through some stuff on Friday. If
What are you doing?
there's certain stuff going in that I don't want to keep saying stuff right now. I'm in such a position where I want to say stuff that's coming up, but I can't.
You said stuff about 10 times, so you stopped.
I've said stuff. I said twice because I was getting annoyed by people saying it's not enough stuff coming up. There's some awesome stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I get into it, as you can tell. I'm very passionate about it.
Nobody would argue that you're passionate, don't worry.
I think that'll bring us to an end. But obviously, thank you so much for joining us. We do hope that Deg made a very appropriate replacement for Timbo. We hope that you enjoyed Ramon's gnome competition he was going throughout the stream.
What? That's a no-brainer. I'm kidding. That was a bad joke. It was really small of me.
That was written. Did you say
It's
that
nice
was
to end on a low note.
Oh, gee. Okay.
Oh! That was short-lived.
Are you still trying to make short references?
Yes, they are. Osborne, as always, for that story, I guess.
It's already a story. I
And,
apologise.
Ryan, I don't have anything odd to say about you, so thanks for being on point, I guess. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. But have yourselves the most glorious night. We'll see you when we see you, and take care, and have yourselves the most glorious night.
I did it. I finally did it.